Hey everyone, Mike Nelson here, Real Estate Fanatics. Today I have a topic for you of the single thing we did in our business to get it started and get us off and running and make us successful. I wouldn't say it was super fast return on it. However, it is by far the number one source of how we were able to grow our business up to where it is today at about 70 to 75 million in volume. However, before we begin, please click our subscription button down below. I have my Calendly link. If you want to reach out to me, you can set time up and we can talk more about this strategy or anything else. Like our videos if you don't mind, and looking forward to bringing you today's session. So, how do we start? Honestly, one of the very first things that I did was, I know it's old school. Look, I'm an old guy. I got gray hair, right? However, we can get distracted into too many platforms, but the number one platform I use, and I still feel like a lot of people definitely use, was Facebook. There was changes to algorithms. Should you use a business page? Should you use your personal page? All of those type of things have kind of changed over the decade that I've been doing this. However, the number one easy way I started was I kind of had to get over using my Facebook account, my personal account, as sort of a personal account. I wanted to use it more like business. I'm not personally one that likes to deal with a lot of drama, so I don't get super politicky. I kind of take a neutral position. That's just my position on things. However, what we then did is kind of really took it from step one, and we started adding a lot of friends, like friends of friends. Like, I was probably 40-ish years old when I got into real estate as a second career. I was in the hometown that I grew up in, even though I had left for 10 plus years. When I came back and started doing real estate there, I started reconnecting through Facebook because it's a very soft approach. Because I know some people are nervous about, like, oh, I don't want to call through my past high school buddies that I haven't talked to in 20 years because that seems kind of salesy. Well, one, that's BS, but besides the point, this is a little softer approach. Start adding a bunch of them as friends, and what happens is you can start finding friends of friends as you start searching through the profiles, and you start adding all of them. Obviously, you know, cautiousness, especially for our female population, because there are obviously weirdos out there and inappropriate people. However, what I tend to find is if you stay within a circle of friends that you trust, like, respect, generally they have friends that are in their Facebook groups that they trust, like, and respect. Where people get in trouble is they start just taking every rando person, and all of a sudden they're getting inappropriate photos and all kinds of stupid stuff. So stay away from that, right? It's not worth that strategy. A lot of times people will go, Mike, that Facebook strategy didn't work because I'm getting all this garbage. Well, you have to be smart about who you're letting into your world, right? Kind of treat it like it's family, right? You're not going to know some of these people, but again, if they're friends of friends, they're probably in the same like-minded type people, and they're not totally crazy wackadoos. So once I started adding, and again, you have to be careful. You know, if you add too many at once, you get locked out, all that stuff, right? But you can add 50 to 75 people a day. Just go in, start. Don't do it randomly, right? Go in and find your friends. Go find their friends, and what happens is they're like, oh, they're friends with so and so. I don't really know who they are, but if they're friends with so and so, well, then that's cool. Then I'm gonna accept them into my world, right? That was the starting point. We grew our account to a couple thousand, 2,500 friends, and over time it's evolved. Like, you know, it's maybe I had to weed through it several times. There's also like an app called friendfinder.io that'll go through and see who's engaging and who's not, and you can remove people that kind of connects on the back end of your Facebook and removes them and stuff like that. But Facebook was really there for me because how I started then was now I had an audience, right? And what I was doing was posting funny stuff about my wife and I, goofing around, clowning around. That was relationship building. People would come in all the time. They're like, oh my gosh, I feel like I know you and your wife so well. And they were just watching us on Facebook, right? We didn't do crazy stuff. I wasn't running down Vegas, streaking naked, drunk, or anything like that, because I figured this was an advertising platform. Once we started kind of mixing in the personal life a little bit then we started blending in real estate. People need to be touched every 17 days, research shows, to be able to remember that you are a realtor. So one easy way to do that is posting to your club, for lack of better terms, on Facebook that you're doing real estate. So back in the day, we were actually posting HUD homes saying we're looking for buyers for these. Now, I had to follow regulations. There's specific language that back in the day that you had to use to say this is a HUD home, and there's some canned language so you didn't get dinged later for advertising their stuff inappropriately. I would get permission from the office to post other people's listings out there. There's certainly services that allow you to do some of that. You can pay for all that, but for me, I would just get permission. I would post it on there and I'd say I'd look for a buyer. Here's the thing. The clients weren't seeing that you were looking for a buyer. They just kept seeing real estate house Mike, real estate house Mike, real estate house Mike, Mike running an open house, Mike doing paperwork on contracts, Mike in class, right? All these things were subliminally putting into their head, real estate Mike, real estate Mike, real estate Mike. That was a very simple way for us to get started using Facebook. It cost nothing. The return on the investment was massive. So I encourage you to do that. Now over time, it's kind of shifted more towards a real estate population. That way for coaching, mentoring, training, things like that. So just a great platform that almost everybody knows. Not everybody's on Instagram, not everybody's on Snapchat. Almost everybody is on Facebook. Now I know the younger generation may not be as much, and so we're having to adapt and change a little bit. However, it's still a good tool in my opinion, and it still brings me lots of business, lots of opportunities, and lots of connections, if you will. And again, that's a big component of our business as well, as networking and connections. So, all right, well, I hope you found that helpful. I would definitely dive into Facebook if you're looking for some inexpensive solution to get you off and running. If you like that video, go ahead and like the button down below and subscribe to our channel. And hey, we have that Calendly link as well. And connect with us if you have any other comments or questions or just want any information. Thanks.